starting with the foam roller upright. You have to hit the yellow and the blue one with the bow of your boat. Yeah? And then it's dead simple, canoe slalom.
Hi everyone. For my PE homework, I was asked to write a set of questions to ask a famous athlete. Luckily, at my club we have some of the world's best canoeists, like Lizzie Neve, who competed in the 2012 London Olympics, and Joe Clark, who won gold in Rio 2016 Olympics, as well as many other world-class paddlers. Today I got to speak to one, Adam Burgess. Let's see what he said. Hi Adam, thanks for joining me for this interview.
No worries.
For those who don't know you, can you say what sport you do?
Yeah, I do canoe slalom, and that is racing down a whitewater river, and we're going around poles and start to finish as fast as we can.
I have paddled at Stafford-on-Stone Canoe Club since I was 11. When did you start canoeing?
I was about the same age as you. I think I was 10, just kind of about to turn 11 actually. Yeah, so then, which has been like 17 years now.
Well, how did you get into canoeing?
I started canoeing through a link that my school, Walton Priory, had with the canoe club at the time. And yeah, I was one of a group of 8 kids, I think, that started off, and then it all kind of went from there.
Did you do any other sports as a child, and what made you decide canoeing was your main sport?
Yeah, I did lots of other sports. I was always big into my football, and I did a lot of swimming as well, actually. And I don't really know what it was about canoeing. I just really liked it from the word go. It's just my favourite. And then I think as I got better at it, I started to want to do more of it, and everything else kind of slowly kind of went away.
What was your first race like?
First race. So my first race was at Stafford-on-Stone, and I don't think I was last, but I really wasn't. I wasn't far from it. I must have been like second to last or something. Yeah, I wasn't very good. But you got to start somewhere, haven't you?
I'm paddling on bigger water now, and it scared me. How did you get over big water and being scared?
That took me a little while, actually. Yeah, I was. It took me a little while to get used to bigger white water at the start. I think part of it coming from Stafford-on-Stone, we kind of hone our skills a lot on the easier water, but don't necessarily get onto the white water quite as often as some other people kind of our age when we're first starting. But I don't think it necessarily holds us back at all, because of the other skills that you're working on. I think you just got to really take advantage of the summers. There was that one summer in particular that I remember where, got comfortable with my role, and then just made the most of it, really. As soon as you're happy rolling, you're kind of then happy to kind of go into anything and know that you'll be all right. And yeah, like it's one of them. I think the more you start to do it, the more you realise it is okay and you can do it, and then you'll do more of it, and it just kind of spirals from there.
When and where was your first race out of the UK?
So my first race out of the UK was in a place called Rudnica in Czech Republic. It was the Junior Pre-World Championships.
What was that like?
It was cool. It was really good. It was amazing going away with like a group of athletes my age to go and do a race. A lot of fun to paddle on a different course. And it was a really good course, actually. It was a bit like Nottingham, but with that you'll know, but with a bigger drop at the end. But it was actually, I remember it being quite quite a nice drop as well. It wasn't like it really wanted to flip you or anything, so it was a lot of fun to play on that course. But we weren't there that year because the following year would have been actual junior world champs. Yeah.
What has been your favourite race?
Favourite race? Oh, there's too many. There's too many. Lee Valley World Cup last year was right up there because of the home crowd. Brazil, Foz do Iguaçu, we're pretty much in a jungle race in there. That was cool. Bosnia, we did a race in Bosnia in 2011 that it's in this like gorge in the bottom of it, and that was pretty stunning. Yeah, there's loads, almost all of them really.
I get quite upset when a race goes badly. How do you cope with a bad run?
Well, it depends on what's happened really. I think as long as I can be happy that I've done everything in my control to try and have a good race. So, you know, done my training right in the preparation and warmed up properly on the day, walked the course, made a good plan, made good decisions, and not really get distracted in the moment in the race. Then kind of whatever happens, you've done your bit, and kind of having a bit of perspective that is like, you know, slalom is just really hard. There's almost no one has good races week in, week out. So that bit of perspective really is the main thing. And then, yeah, I think the only time I would be annoyed is probably if there was something I feel like I could have done better, then that would annoy me. But then it's the same thing. You just kind of make that deal with yourself that, okay, I'm going to work on that, or I'm not going to let that happen again, and then move on.
In a week, I do 2 whitewater sessions and 3 gym sessions. How much training do you do in a week?
Well, at the moment in isolation, not as much as normal, but on a normal week, I paddle 8 to 9 times on the whitewater, and then gym between 3 and 5, but it varies really depending on the time of the year. I actually do slightly shorter sessions than I used to do, but do a little bit more. But overall, the actual time spent training is probably about the same.
What is your best achievement?
I think winning the Olympic selection series, and the results really that I needed to do that. So that silver medal at the World Cup, that's best World Cup race, and then to back it up with performances at the World Cup 5 that year and World Champs, that to come out on top over that 3-race series is probably the highlight against such good competition in Britain.
How did it feel when you were selected to go to the Olympics?
It's hard to explain really. It was I mean a little bit was relief because of the way it happened in the end. It ended up you know, I had the 2 wins going into the last race, potentially had the spot, and it was kind of down to what David could do in the final in the end. So a little bit was relief when I knew that I had it, but no, it was weird for the next kind of month. I was trying to work out what had just happened, because it's a big change. What really stuck out was feeling kind of like I was like your age again, when I think you kind of dare to like dream that it's going to happen a bit more. In kind of maybe the last few years, last kind of 5 or 6 years, you probably start to kind of realise how really difficult it is, Yeah, so that's what really stuck out. Kind of just felt like a kid again.
What made you decide that C1 was going to be your main?
Oh, C1. It's just better. It's more fun. Canoe's better than kayak. That's it. Had more fun in the boat, and I think I was probably better at it. Like pretty early on. It just made sense to make the switch.
Because of coronavirus, the Olympics have been delayed a year. How do you feel about that?
Obviously, it's quite upsetting not to have it because we were getting quite close now. But also, I was really enjoying the build-up. I was really enjoying the time. I think we had 9 months between selection and the start of the games. We basically just gained an extra 12 months of build-up. So that's really positive. It's really positive that hopefully the Olympics will run as normal now and not some weird like virus Olympics that I think some nations weren't going to attend and things like that. It wouldn't have been right to do that. So no, I think it's a good thing. Just got to make sure we kind of maintain this motivation now over a longer period.
Because we're not allowed to paddle at the moment, what do you do instead?
So trying to make the most of my gym work at the moment. So because I do a lot of paddling, majority of my training is in the boat. It can be really difficult to make like your improvements in the gym can be quite steady because of the canoeing just takes it out of you so much and it just takes all your energy, and you need that energy to kind of actually grow and adapt from gym sessions. So we're taking advantage of doing less paddling by doing a little bit more gym and a lot more recovery from gym. So just seeing it as a bit of a physical block, to be honest. So mostly gym, but then also working on my mobility, yoga and stretches. I'm doing some breath control work at the moment. And then I've also got like a paddling ergo, so I'm doing some like paddling on land as well.
How does the yoga help you with your paddling?
Yoga helps me in a few different ways. I think to start with, I wanted to learn how to breathe better. That's what got me interested, and that's paid off a number of times. I think helping with not get injured, because I was having some issues with breathing that was causing me a shoulder problem. But then, there's moments like I was in the start line at the Olympic selection race too, and I was really aware that my heart was just beating like really fast, and kind of from taking up yoga, I kind of learned the skills required to just calm that down using my breath. I'm staying more mobile. I've got more movement now, which that's really helpful, especially like the rotation and the reach and stuff, and control at the end of those ranges. And then the final thing really is focus. I do like a yoga warm up now before I race, and I'm focusing mainly on where I'm looking, and I have a lot of discipline on that. If I'm looking at the ends of my thumbs or my toes or wherever it is, and it's like a real, I don't let my eyes move off, because that's what I want it to be like when I'm racing. I want to make sure I'm looking in the right place and never at a pole, because if I look at a pole, I hit the pole. So I'm looking at the space next to it, and I just train that discipline of the eyes before I get on.
For all the paddlers stuck at home, what are your best gym moves to do to keep strong?
Best gym moves to keep strong whilst you're at home. Because we're like a pulling sport, the best things you can do are always kind of pulls. So if there's any way of doing chin-ups, that's the absolute best. If there's a way of getting some kind of chin-up bar on like a door frame or outside somewhere, a tree, that's your best one. But any kind of rows as well. So you could put like a hand on a table or a chair and hold, even if it's just like a heavy, like one of those big like 5-6 litre bottles of water, those kind of things, and you just like row that up. And then I think any kind of like circuits, press ups, sit ups, that sort of stuff, just to keep your general fitness up. I think, and you can just be creative as well, really, like use what you've got, see what equipment there is. How can you, like weights isn't that difficult really when you think about it. You're just kind of, it's a heavy weight versus gravity, and you're in between them, so you're either pulling it up or you're pressing it up from below, and just go from there. Yeah.
I know you like to take freezing cold swims. Are you still able to do that at home?
So now I'm back in Stone and I've not got the lake at Lee Valley. We have a wheelie bin that it hasn't been used, so it's a clean wheelie bin. But I fill that up with water. I got some ice packs out of the freezer and I've refroze them and put them back in a few times, and now it just gets really cold overnight as well. So first thing in the morning, that water is freezing. So I'm keeping that up as well, because that is something I really like to do.
And why do you do it?
A number of reasons really, but the main one is that I don't want to do it, because it's cold and that's pretty horrible. So if I make myself do it, then it's like a discipline thing. It feels really good, and you get out and you're like, whoa, like, I just did that, like what else can I do? And you do get out, you do feel amazing when you come out. So that's kind of the other thing it's done for, is do it for that feeling afterwards. It's like going for a run. The hardest part is actually putting your trainers on and getting going, but when you finish, you never regret it. It's kind of like that.
What has motivated you through your canoeing journey?
Different things really, but I think mostly just wanting to get better. Very kind of like growth driven generally. Like see canoe slalom not just as kind of start to finish as fast as possible. There's also kind of a lot of style in there as well. Can be a bit of an art form, I think, when it's done well. So just trying to perfect those skills, and I rarely focus on going fast. Really, I focus on doing things well, and as a result, that's fast. But there's always something you can work on. There's always a slightly better shape you can get into, and it's very technical, I think, for me, where I went. And then now actually I'm got a lot of focus on learning how to race better, like seeing racing as a whole different skill, and that's kind of opened up this whole new kind of area of motivation to kind of look into.
What advice do you have for any young sports person to keep motivated?
I think it's definitely difficult at this time when we're all stuck in our homes. What I say is that if you can use this time better than your competition, which will be quite easy to do because a lot of people would just stop during this time. A lot of people would maybe do a little bit but not do it very well. It's quite an easy time to use this time better and actually to get a bit of an edge on competition. I'd say it'd be good to watch video. If you have any video of yourself paddling, it'd be good to start to review that. And also, if you got a lot of it, you could start to look for things that you want to work on when you get back in a boat. And that for me is probably the most motivating thing, when you're coming back to something and you'll be just so excited to work on this this shape I'm getting into when I'm in a left bow rudder or whatever it is. That I think is probably one of the most motivating things you can do.
Thank you very much for speaking with me today. Looking forward to seeing you soon, and good luck next year in Tokyo.
Cool. Thank you very much.